Reply.
Speaker, I want to start by thanking the Maori Party for their support in relation to this bill. It's appreciated. The fact is that, Mr. Speaker, that centralised management and funding of schools has put the government in a wholly conflicted position, not only as provider but purchaser and regulator. It has resulted, whether we like it or not, in schools with poor teacher motivation, bored children and falling standards, while education spending has increased dramatically. I think everybody, Mr. Speaker, in this House agrees that good teachers are the most important factor in whether children benefit from schools. Teachers determine whether children get quality education, much more than the curriculum, the class size, funding or computers or the internet. These are all secondary to having quality teachers. And one of the things that I learnt when I was doing the work with as part of the working party on school choice was it didn't matter whether you went to a Decile 1 school or a Decile 10 school. What the principals told us more than anything else was their desire to train their own teachers. They wanted to train their own teachers because they felt the quality of teachers that was coming out of the training school was not high enough, and they wanted to have pay flexibility so they could reward and retain the quality teachers. Mr. Speaker, there is evidence, whether we like it or not, of system failure in the education system. We have a system that is failing to teach the basics to children. We've got a system that allows 20% of school leaders to be functionally illiterate. We've got a system that allows around 25% of school leavers to be functionally illiterate. And in South Auckland this year, we had a school, a secondary school, in a Decile 5 or 6 secondary school that tested the young people who are coming in, the 13-year-olds, in maths. And one of the sums was subtract 27 from 36, and 23%, one child in 4, got it wrong. And if we claim that we've got an education system that's going to set this country up for the future, we're very wrong. It also fails the disadvantage. We have a school that discriminates against the least well off, particularly in the big cities. And this does not need to be the case, Mr. Speaker. There is a well-documented case in Australia, Headmaster John Fleming of a school where 87% of these children were on benefit. They were 20%. They were 20% behind the average Australian child. It was so bad that the Education Department said to him, look, just go and fix it. You've got all the rights, appoint who you like and what have you. 7 years later, that school had an average recording of 20% above the average in Australia. So don't tell me these kids can't learn. They can learn if you give them the right environment. They can learn if you give them the right motivation. He took a school with 87% of the parents were on benefit. He turned it around from being 20% below the average to 20% above. That can be done, and it's an absolute disgrace that we allow these kids not to learn. And I think that the Maori Party, I think the leader of the Maori Party knows that with some freedom and some concentration and motivation they can do it. And I've seen it in Maori schools here in New Zealand. The school out of Gisborne, they're doing a fantastic job, and with the right teachers and motivation. But we want to have one system, and you'll never have one system, Mr. Speaker, that fits all.
Members, the question is that the Education Board of Trustee Freedom Amendment Bill be now read a first time. Those of that opinion will say aye. The contrary opinion will say no. The noes have it. Party vote is called for. Clerk, would you please conduct a party vote?
New Zealand National.
58 votes opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
42 votes opposed.
Green Party.
9 votes opposed.
ACT New Zealand.
5 votes in favour.
Maori Party. In favour. Progressive.
1 vote opposed.
United Future.
1 vote opposed.
Any other votes?
Thank you. Members, the ayes are 10, the noes are 111. The bill will not be read a first time. I now call on members